Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high-performance computing. Today, my guest is from Dell, and we have Mark Fernandez. He is an HPC computer scientist at the company. So, Mark, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Rich. Glad to be here.
Well,
thanks for doing this.
Well, it's my pleasure. You know, I'm really excited. I'm getting to moderate a couple of panels that'll take place in the Dell booth next week at Supercomputing, and that's on Wednesday. But why don't we talk about these individually? The first one I wanted to talk about it's called Solving the HPC Data Deluge. So what's the idea behind this seminar?
Oh, that's a great one. Like you said, it's Wednesday afternoon. We've got 4 panelists from academia there. We've got a gentleman from the University of Florida. He's been pushing InfiniBand access to high-capacity, low-cost storage. And, of course, you know that's of importance in the academic space. We've got other good panelists. One is exploring the underlying file system underneath Lustre and its options and pitfalls that might be there, and some of the properties that you might want to be watching out for. So I'm looking forward to hearing that as well.
Yeah. In fact, you just mentioned that was Scott Nolin from University of Wisconsin, and I got to see his talk in Paris about his implementation of Lustre. Very interesting stuff. So that's all based on the Dell Lustre solution then?
Yes, correct. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first session. Now, the second one really is kind of was surprising to me, and I was excited to be asked to moderate it. It's on HPC Virtualization, something that's been just around the corner now for a few years. What's that about, Mark?
Well, depending on who you ask, you'll get a different definitions of cloud, if you would. And regardless of your definition, if you're comfortable with the performance expectations you get from cloud and the latency expectations you can get from the cloud, then it's a natural outgrowth that we can set that cloud up to meet your needs. And hence, that's virtualization. So we've got Jim Wilgenbush from the Florida State. He's a founding director of the Research Computing Center there. And they're doing some pretty interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to hearing from that. Paul Collegia from across the pond at Cambridge University has been working with Dell for quite some time. He creates many reference architectures and cookbooks for the common man to set things up. And again, I'm looking to hear his perspective on how this can happen in the cloud via virtualization and the pitfalls that he sees that may be coming, and some of the advantages that he's been able to discover.
Well, you know, that's great because, Mark, I've been following this space for a while, and it seems like the notion that, well, HPC wouldn't be interested in virtualization because virtualization slows things down. But it seems like that notion is starting to go away. Would you agree?
Yeah, like I said, if you're comfortable with the cloud and the performance implications that you have there and the latency implications that you have there, mm-hmm. and you go in with that mindset, then you might want to get some benefits of setting that up the way you want it, and the way to do that is via virtualization.
Well, terrific. So Mark, give us a little insight here. You know, you guys are going to have a good-sized booth there. What can we expect from the Dell exhibit this year at SC13?
Oh, it's great. We've got a 50 by 50 booth. It's going to be fully staffed. We're going to be introducing some new storage solutions. We'll be providing our roadmaps on many of our compute solutions. And we're also going to feature our desktop CAD/CAM solutions that are very powerful for the manufacturing space. There'll be a full complement of Dell folks present. We haven't slacked up. We're really looking forward to this supercomputing.
Well, great, Mark. So that's the Dell booth. Where are we going to find you all week? Are you going to be everywhere?
Yes, Dell has some NDA booths, of course, and I'll be presenting in those. I'll be at customer meetings, customer breakfasts. I also plan on visiting one of my favorite things that occurs at all supercomputing, and that's the student cluster competition. As you know, Dell's a pretty strong sponsor of that. I believe a Dell team won at ISC last year, and a Dell team won at Supercomputing the year before. We're directly supporting one team this year and indirectly a second one, so I really like to see the youth. They're the legs of HPC that we need to get more of and grow better into the community, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that is a terrific program, and I know that Dell has been a strong sponsor of that from the beginning. So kudos go out to you guys. And folks out there, of our listeners, be sure to check out the student cluster. It's going on all week. Give those kids some encouragement because that's the future generation, as Mark says. So great job there. Okay, so that's the student cluster competition, Mark. So, by the way, I did want to thank you for having me come to moderate these two panels. And just in summary, when we got these are Wednesday, November 20th at 1:30 is the Data Deluge, and at 3 o'clock we have the HPC Virtualization. So listeners out there, we encourage you to come by, come see the talks. They've got great panelists, and they will be taking questions. So Mark Fernandez, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Rich, and we in the whole HPC community look forward to you moderating these panels. You always do an excellent, balanced job, and it's to the benefit of the whole community. So we're all looking forward to that.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Mark. Okay, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on high-performance computing.